Last episode I built this bamboo factory. Yes, a very small factory, but a factory nonetheless that makes tons of bamboo. Now the purpose of having all of these lovely bamboo blocks was to use them for crafting, chests, barrels, that sort of thing. But I don't need to craft any chests or barrels right now, so I've just got all of this bamboo laying around with nothing to use it on. So, the only logical thing would be to build an entire bamboo village up in the trees with interconnecting pathways that actual Minecraft villagers can walk around on to get to their individual tree houses to do their specific job, all without having to quite literally touch grass. Me and the villagers. This is going to be a big project. Won't be leaving the house for a while. Unless we're talking about my Minecraft house, and in that case, we gotta go. Over to today's building location, which is in fact over here by our spawn. We've been doing some work over here recently with the fairly new addition of our custom ocean monument, and today we're going to expand outwards into the jungle behind the spawn monument. The first thing we gotta do is actually plant some new jungle trees, and possibly take some of the others down that aren't quite tall enough. So we now have a total of 14 new jungle trees in our jungle. Some of them a lot taller than the others. I've actually had to mark them with a dirt block so I know which ones are mine. If you're wondering how I got the trees to be as tall as they are, well, I basically built the bottom part of the tree first of all, placed some dirt on top, and then grew another tree on top of that, replaced the dirt for jungle logs, so it was a seamless transition, making it that little bit taller. And now that I'm looking around here, I'm thinking some of them could actually do with being a little bit taller. I mean, look at these three here. We got two to the left hand side that are not much taller than the trees that were here already, and then this one to the right is mine. They need to be a bit more like the one on the right. I have so much jungle wood now from trying to get these trees to be a little bit higher, which as you can see we have now done, so our jungle trees that we're going to be building on are that bit higher above the rest of the jungle, which I really like. So every single one of these trees with a dirt block on the top of it is going to have some sort of tree house built on the actual trunk. And I would quite like them to be a pretty similar style to each other, but I don't just want to do cookie cutter tree houses and have them all be exactly the same. So I'm going to come up with the first prototype of sorts, so we got a pretty good idea of what they're all going to look like, and from then we can go on to expand to the rest of the trees. So we haven't gone for a total bamboo structure. I think that would have been a little bit too much. Instead, we've got the bamboo supports, the bamboo roof, and then we've got a jungle center. And I think keeping with that for the rest of the huts is going to work pretty well. Of course, varying in shape and size a little bit. As I said, I don't want these just to be a carbon copy of each other, but I don't want them looking so different that they don't look like they fit together. But before we start building any more huts, I would actually like to sort out the villager situation, which is the fact that there's currently no villagers nearby to populate our village. So first things first, the villager breeder, courtesy of Zinji. There will be a link to the tutorial that I followed in the description down below. The next step is to actually get some villagers that we can slot inside of here to get things ticking. So let me just head up to the top of my spawn monument and I can perch here whilst I wait for nighttime. Okay, that is plenty dark enough. Let's go find some zombie villagers. You know, I'm not convinced the jungle is the best place to do this. It's maybe a bit too dark for me. Oh, and there's, yep, creepers around every corner. I just saw another one running at me now. Oh gosh. I'll repair this in the morning. Okay, I think I'm gonna actually search over in the mesa. It's just a little bit safer. I'm not having much luck, and we're already halfway through nighttime. Ah, great. There's one over here, but I'm like over 1,000 blocks away. I was only flying to get mobs to despawn, so let's hope there's one when I fly back. It's not looking good. The sun's coming up and I haven't spotted a single zombie villager. Yep, mobs are burning. Okay, we missed our chance. On to plan B. Right after I get done repairing this creeper damage. Good as new. So plan B is to essentially use my villagers from this villager breeder and move them into the jungle. I wonder if we've got some sitting around here already. Let the minecart go by. Do we have any in this corner? Last time I checked, that's not what villagers look like. These carrots are for you, fine gentlemen. Get breeding. Man, that was quick. Oh, just heard a little splash. Look at that, we got a baby already. And off he goes. Down into the eternal abyss. With the pig. He's not alone, he's fine. As you can see, our villagers are now all grown up and they desperately look like they want to get out, so let's see if we can save them here. Minecart should pick up. Oh, well, we're saving the pig first. Wait, no, pig, I don't want you to go to the nether. No, 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 that's not going to make you safe. Let's also not send you back. Oh, he's okay. Okay, this time we should get a villager. Yep, okay, here he comes. Oh, you're stuck. Let's just give you a little nudge and off you go. Come on, villager, it's night time. We gotta get you into the nether because somehow that is actually the safest place for you right now. Let's give you a little one last push and that should send you right on in. I don't think they can go through with a minecart, so let's just break that and in he goes. I can hear him, but I can't see him. Oh, he's already trying to run off. Okay. So the portal that we need to get this guy to is that one over there. And I'm simply going to use the method of placing down a workstation, letting him notice it. Hello, can you see the workstation? He's flatly refusing. It might be because we're in the nether. That's okay though, I have a backup. If you could just hop on the raft, that would be great. Okay, you all strapped in? Ready to go? Yep, well, let's sail. After a lovely long ride in the boat, we have finally arrived. I have just one favor to ask you, villager, and that is to please not run away when I break this raft. What did I say? Come back! Let's try that again, shall we? Okay, he's out. Let's just see if we can push. Yeah, thank you. Wow, very cooperative. This guy is going on quite the adventure. He's now off for another roller coaster ride. And we're off. Okay, villager has arrived. Furnace minecart, you have done your job wonderfully. So now, in theory, all I need to do is just tap the corner of this, and he should fall into position. Lovely. Now I just have to do that one more time with your friend back home. These best buds are back together again, and I'm about to drop a boatload of carrots onto their heads so they can start breeding. So prepare yourself, guy. Okay, I think we're good. Let's close that up and stop causing trouble. Oh yeah, we got hearts already. So I'm going to clean all of this up, and then afterwards we can get started on building some more of our tree houses. I did just have to make a quick stop off at the bamboozler because I need way more bamboo than I initially thought, so I'm just in here crafting up some more blocks of bamboo. Okay, this hopefully should be enough. We'll see. Let's go and build ourselves some bamboo tree houses. So the plan with this village is to have one tree house per villager profession, so we have 13 in total. The cleric, the butcher, the shepherd, the leather worker, the fisherman, the cartographer, the librarian, the fletcher, the stonemason, the toolsmith, the armorer, the weaponsmith, and the farmer. So now we have 13 specific individual villager tree houses. The only trouble is we have one of our very large jungle trees right here in the center that's missing its treehouse. And that's because this treehouse isn't for a specific villager, it's more of a communal place for them all to gather, a town hall, shall we say. There we go, at very long last, the tree houses have all been built. Also in that time, our villagers have been very busy breeding here. I think we might have enough now, especially with the two at the top, who look a little bit different now. I promise it's just that they've changed clothes. Definitely not that the snow biome villagers we had originally were making snow biome babies, so I had to replace them with their jungle offspring. Yeah, it definitely wasn't that. So these guys are nearly ready to be moved into their new homes, other than the fact we're missing one very important part of the village, and that is the pathways between the tree houses. So the bridges have been built, and aren't they looking lovely? Just kidding, these are the outlines. So now I can pretty much just go around with my blocks and follow the pattern I've laid out with the dirt. The only trouble is, we're using more bamboo once again, and I am fresh out of supplies. So back to the bamboo factory I go. Okay, this should be way more than I need, but I'm playing it safe because I don't want to have to craft bamboo anymore. I didn't think I'd say this given how satisfying this farm is to use, but I've had enough of using it. So I'm actually really happy to be going to build some bridges. There we go, our tree houses have now all been connected with their pathways. Now I haven't done a bridge to every single tree house from every single direction. I think that would have been a bit too grid-like if I had have done that. So instead we just have a few of them shooting off in different directions. Some have more pathways than others, but that's totally fine. I think it looks really, really good. We are very nearly ready to move our friends into their new home. There's just something I've realized I desperately need to change. Just take a look at the leaf canopy. Yeah, it's way too small. So I'm going to go around and extend them all for every single treehouse. Step 1, collect some leaves. Step 2, expand the leaves. Oh buddy, that is looking a lot better. That simple change has made a big difference. I'd say a simple change, that was nearly 4 shulker boxes of jungle leaves. Still worth it. So now, at long last, we are finally ready to move our villagers into their new homes. I think I've counted up 14 villagers, including the 2 at the top there. And we only need 13, so that gives us a spare if something goes wrong. So from what I can tell, there are 2 ways of doing this. The first way is to bring each individual villager to their specific home and drop them off there on the doorstep. Sounds like a lot of work, right? Which is why I like the sound of option 2, essentially to drop them in the town hall here and let them find their homes and their workstations under their own steam. Okay, you first. Yep, keep it coming. Next villager. You're going as well. Nearly done. And there we go. Okay, this is gonna be a little tricky. I think we've maybe had 2 of the villagers actually find a workstation. Here's one right here. This is our resident librarian. And I know the toolsmith has been picked up. Other than that, I think it's free pickings still. I think my plan now is to just entice all of these guys in separately. So I've got a composter here. If I just place this on the bridge, I should be able to coax one of them out. As soon as they spot it, oh yep, here comes one. He is raring to go, so I've got this guy's attention and I can basically just gradually nudge him along. You know, I really thought this time lapse was going to be a lot longer, but I'm pleased to say the villagers were well behaved. I know, shocking. It only took me 20 minutes. I did have to yank them with the fishing rod a couple of times just to give them a helping hand, but for the most part, they were pretty good. No complaints here. I'm feeling kind of bad for the final villager over here, just being left behind from all of his friends. So I think I'm actually gonna let this guy join the village too. Now, unfortunately, we are out of professions, but I guess he can be a professional nitwit. I've set him up with a spare bed in the fisherman's house, so hopefully he finds it. We'll just see what he does. Thankfully, with the last villager now out of the way, I can clean up this mess a little bit. Much better. It looks like he's choosing to stick around in the town hall, which I think is pretty nice. It also means he still has his fellow villagers to congregate with when they come to do a little meetup at the bell. Oh, sorry, I made him run away. Note to self, don't ring the bell. Okay, I made you guys wait long enough. It's time for a tour. Whoa, guys, calm down. We do not have the space for babies, please. I am out of beds. Okay, good. Thank you, thank you. So this is the town hall where all of our villagers come to meet. And when I say all of them, I mean just 4. I think the other ones are actually too far away, unfortunately. But it's okay because we got a set of jukeboxes here with a record disc and a dancing bird. So it's perfect the way it is. Here we have the Fletcher's house, the first one that we built. And this one is actually pretty simple compared to the rest. There's not much room in here. Just across the bridge, we have the Fletcher's neighbor, the weaponsmith. Similar deal in here, all of the houses look pretty similar, just with a few little changes to make them more specific to the... How did you get up there so quick? To make them more specific to the profession, like the little grindstone setup over here. This is the armorer's house. As you can see, of course, we have some armor stands, and the other half of the treehouse is the living space. That's a common theme amongst all of these. Another small one over here is the toolsmith. I'm not sure how he's managing to work in these conditions. There's hardly any room to move. How he's managing to make tools, I don't know. Next up is the stone cutter. As you can see, we got a nice pile of stone ready to be crafted into stuff. Kind of tried to build a little bit of a system over here, and for whatever reason, he doesn't move from this spot. This is where he goes to work, on that stair, every single day. Out on one of the very far reaches of the village is our farmer, whose lifestyle is a bit precarious. There's nothing really stopping him from just falling off while he's harvesting his crops. I'm just gonna trust you'll stay safe. Same goes for the rest of the villagers. I'm just hoping none of them fall off. Another one linked up to the town hall in the center is the librarian's house, which, as you may have guessed, has a fair amount of bookshelves, as well as an array of random assorted items, which I think is pretty well suited. Now's where we reached the halfway point of the village, crossing over one of the biggest bridges of them all into the leatherworker's house, where we walk right through some leather and can't find the villager. That's worrying. Oh, there you are. He's stuck in the scaffolding. Is that better? Oh, wait, hang on. Huh? What? I think this guy might be the nitwit who's just come and stolen his job whilst he was stuck. Honestly, I'm gonna allow it. I don't want to fuss with these guys anymore. A little bit further on along, we have the shepherd who stood on top of his pile of wool, which I guess he got from this guy over here. His pet sheep, shall we say. Heading on down this way is the cleric, I believe. Yes, he's busy working away at the brewing stand. Nice and cozy one. I do quite like how this one turned out. And I think he does too. One of the bigger tree houses at the other end of the village is the butcher's here, who's currently sat having an invisible meal. But he's got this whole section for his work, shall we say. Over here is where the nitwit is meant to be living with the resident fisherman. I set him up a spare bed. But yeah, he's just taken the leatherworker's place instead, I guess. But this fisherman's treehouse comes with its very own deck and chair to go fishing out on, with a little pond down there, which actually used to just be an open cave that I decided to flood because there was no other water nearby. And last but not least, we have the cartographer, which of course has a map of the village and a little bit of our ocean monument, as well as the spawn tower, and you can't really see the village, you can only see the bridges. Got another one over here, and then just a long map that I made of the nearby jungle. Not this one. So, of course, the idea for this village was to keep it all entirely within the trees. I don't want the villagers being able to get on the ground. But it would be pretty neat if we could come up with some way that I can get up to the village itself if I don't have my elytra for whatever reason. So, simple fix. Use the vines to climb through some trapdoors into the town hall and also clear a pathway from the bottom of that tree to the spawn monument. So there we go. Now we have an easier way up to the village if for whatever reason I don't have my elytra on, which I always do. So this probably wasn't needed, but hey, at least it looks cool. So there we go, everybody. That's going to do it for the episode. I've had so much fun working on this little project. I love making villages in Minecraft, and something like this, it was a bit different to usual, and the fact we have actual villagers up here makes it that bit cooler. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching. Thank you ever so much for doing that, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye for now.